Chapter 158. Killing in a fit of rage. I must follow this person. Even if I enter the Heavenly Tao sect, only then will I have the chance to step into a higher realm. Wuxia instantly made a decision that was about to change his life, and until a few hundred years later, when he became a true disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect, he was incredibly grateful for the decision he made today. The continuous killing still continued. Blood flowed in a river above the giant ship. There were corpses of demonic beasts, and also corpses of young jungles. Scarlet blood flowed into the sea from the giant ship, staining large swathes of blood red. At this time, the demonic beasts had gone completely crazy. Disregarding their lives, they generally pounced towards the crowd, while all the young jungles also killed red-eyed, watching their companions beside them. Fall one by one, they all went crazy and killed the demonic beasts. The only one who was safe was Kang Chon's squad, because every time someone encountered a life crisis, Kang Chon appeared in front of him and forcefully killed the demonic beast. Gradually, the personnel of Kang Chon's squad knew that this usually low-key youth was the strongest amongst the crowd. They were incomparably shocked in their hearts, and at the same time, they were very glad to be in the same squad as Kang Chon. Painful, really painful. It's only been an hour, and I've already hunted over 300 demonic beasts in a dance. As long as I'm able to find the rest of the materials for refining the third transformation golden Dan, I'll be able to refine 3 third transformation golden Dans. I'm really looking forward to it. Kang Chon continuously hunted and killed a single demonic beast around him. His heart was incomparably happy. In such a short period of time, he had hunted more than 300 demonic beasts in a dance. This was simply unimaginable when placed in the Great Tang country. From the time he stepped into the Heavenly Tao sect, Kang Chon had never given up on the 3 transformation Jindan. He knew that if he wanted to achieve something in the demon locking pagoda, he had to raise his cultivation, at the very least. He had to raise it to the 7th level of the Jindan stage realm. Just by his own cultivation alone, even with his powerful talent, it would be impossible to raise his cultivation to the 7th level of the Jindan stage in a short period of time. After all, when it comes to the later stages, cultivation becomes more and more difficult unless Kang Chon possesses better pills to go along with his cultivation, but right now, he doesn't have that kind of extreme material. He has to wait until he truly becomes a disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect before he can make use of the Heavenly Tao sect's channels to purchase those precious alchemy materials. After all, in this cultivation world, some of the precious resources were monopolized by the big sects. And that was the reason why the big sects kept on appearing masters and other people. If they didn't worship the sects, even if their talent was strong, they couldn't possibly cultivate to a higher realm. A genius like the Fengdu City Lord, if he had worshipped the Heavenly Tao sect in the first place, he would have long since become a true disciple of the out-of-body stage by now. Whereas now he would still be stuck at the peak of the Yuanying stage realm. Kid, I didn't expect to be able to collect enough demonic beast in a Dan here. Since that's the case, I'll tell you the 2 important main materials needed to refine the 3 transformation golden Dan. One is the clear spirit grass, the other is the spirit gathering fruit. These 2 materials and 100 Jindan stage demonic beast inner pills are the most important materials for refining the 3 turns golden pill. The other auxiliary materials are found amongst the materials that Fatty San collected for you last time. Emperor Dan's voice sounded in Kang Chon's mind. He also didn't expect Kang Chon to have collected more than 100 demonic beast inner Dans so quickly. Maybe there was still a chance to refine the 3 turns golden Dan. Clear spirit grass, spirit gathering fruit. Just these 2. It seems like there might really be a hope of refining a 3rd transformation golden pill. Kang Chon was overjoyed at his words. Emperor Dan laughed. The purpose of the God-clearing grass is to calm the violent energy in the demonic beast's inner pills. After all, the demonic beast's energy contains too much killing aura, and without the God, clearing grass to calm the spirit. You'll easily go overboard after absorbing it. As for the spirit gathering fruit, is to play the role of gathering spiritual chi. Without it, it's impossible for you to gather the energy in 100 demonic beasts in a dance. These two materials are indispensable. You must have to find all of them in order to refine the third transformation golden pill, Emperor Dan said seriously. Kang Chon nodded. He remembered these two materials. When the time came, he would inquire from the others to see. There were so many young geniuses here. Maybe he could really find these two materials. After thinking about it, Kang Chon immediately transmitted his voice to Wuxia and the people in his squad to inquire about the whereabouts of the clear spirit grass and the spirit gathering fruit. Clear spirit grass and spirit gathering fruit. When Wuxia and the rest of his squad members heard Kang Chon's voice transmission, they couldn't help but be stunned, and then they each searched their minds for information. After a tragic battle, they already knew how powerful Kang Chon was, so at the moment, they all wanted to befriend him. During this time, Kang Chon, on the other hand, went all out to kill the surrounding demonic beasts, making the squad members very safe. However, a few moments later, Wuxia exchanged words with the squad members before he said to Kang Chon, "Brother, we haven't heard of the spirit gathering fruit, but we do know about the god clearing grass, which is generally used to refine pills that fix the mind and calm the nerves. And it's found in a lot of countries. Among them, it's in the Great Han country that has the most of it. And most of the countries that we have imported the god clearing grass from the Great Han country." Great Han country. Kang Chon's heart was delighted when he heard this. His gaze couldn't help but turn to the group of powerful people from the Great Han country who were fighting with the demonic beasts. Since the Great Han country possessed a large amount of divine cleansing grass, then there might be one amongst these people. When Wuxia saw Kang Chon's gaze, he couldn't help but be shocked. Could it be that his brother wanted to take on these Daheng Kingdom powerhouses? This would be a big deal. Although he knew that Kang Chon was very powerful, but now that there were more than 20 people on Yan Chon's side, it was hard to defeat four hands with two fists. "Brother, do you want me to ask them for you and see if you can use spirit stones in exchange?" Wuxia transmitted his voice. "Okay. Thanks, Brother Wong." Kang Chon nodded his head when he heard this. Indeed, it would be best if he could exchange it with spirit stones. After all, these Great Han Kingdom powerhouses held information leading to the Yuanying stage of space, and he didn't want to cross swords with them for the time being. Not good. They are going to break out. Just at this moment, Kang Chon's face changed violently. He saw those Great Han country powerhouses breaking out in one direction. Some of the other young jungles followed. Some hadn't spotted them yet. After all, there were too many demonic beasts around. Damn it. These guys want to leave us behind as cannon fodder. Wuxia was also furious. Go. Let's quickly follow them. Kang Chon couldn't care about the divine clearing herb at this time, and hurriedly rushed towards the direction where a group of the strongest members of the Great Han country had broken out. Behind him, Wuxia led a small group of people who hurriedly followed. Kang Chon cursed as he hurriedly chased after them. At this time, after an hour of fierce fighting, the giant ship had already rushed out of the demonic beast group for most of the distance. This time to break out was just the right time. The group of strong men from the Great Han country just have prepared to break out at this time. As for the death of the crowd, naturally wasn't in their consideration. HMPH. When we wait until the entrance to the Yuanying space, none of you will want to go in. A killing intent rose in Kang Chon's heart. He didn't care about these guys, claiming to be the king. But after these guys used the crowd, they didn't care about the crowd's lives at all, which made him very angry. Kid, this is how the cultivation world is like. If someone else had their strength, they would have chosen to do the same. Emperor Dan heatedly laughed. It's a pity that they met me, so they have to pay for it. Humph. Kang Chon sniffed coldly. As you wish, but I have to remind you that if you want to kill them, You have to kill them all. Otherwise you'll have offended the powerful forces of the Great Han Kingdom. Didn't you hear that big man Wuxia say that Yanchong Brat's brother Yun is a subterranean dragon ranking powerhouse, as well as a henchman of the second strongest subterranean dragon ranking powerhouse, Wuxia? You're bound to make enemies with them if you kill them, Emperor Dan reminded. Didn't your old man say that only brutal battles can create strong people? Since that's the case, why should I care about this and that? As long as I refine the 3 transformation golden pill and raise my cultivation to the 7th level of the Jiden stage, I, Kangshan, will not be afraid of anyone amongst this heaven's Dao demon ceiling ranking. Kangchun sniffed and said proudly, with powerful battle intent in his eyes. Forget it. This is your kid's path of cultivation. The old man can only give you a reminder. This road is ultimately for you to walk on your own. Emperor Dan was stunned at his words. Then he smiled and said, a trace of appreciation flashed in his eyes. Kang Tian did not say any more. By this time, he and Wuxia and the others had already caught up. With the group of people from the Great Han country, beside them, there were some other young jungles. Obviously, all of them had discovered the breakout of the Great Han country's strongest people and followed them to arrive. Kang Tian roughly took a look. There were more than 30 young jungles who had broken through with the Great Han country, and there were still 70 to 80 young jungles left on the giant ship at the moment. He was able to imagine what would happen to these young jungles left on the giant ship. Other than being devoured by the demonic beasts, there was no way to live. The crowd that escaped out, however, was not one of them who cared about the safety of those people. They all just cared about escaping on their own. Kang Tian was very helpless. He had just transmitted his voice to those young talents on top of the giant ship, but many of them had killed Red Eyes. Plus there were too many demonic beasts, so it was also very difficult to escape, even if they knew. After a wave of demonic beasts attacked, only 1/3 of the original people on the giant ship survived, with half of them being the strongest members of the Great Han Kingdom, and the rest being young jungles who had escaped from death, including Kang Tian's squad. The mood of the crowd was very heavy. A single attack by a group of demonic beasts had caused 2/3 of the crowd to fall. If another attack was made, wouldn't it be a total wipeout? In this heavy atmosphere, the crowd flew along with the strong men of the Great Han country for some time before finally stopping in a safe area. Yanchon turned around and coldly scanned the crowd. The crowd frowned and looked at Yanchon and the others suspiciously. Why did they stop and not go? Yanchon, why have you stopped? How much longer until we reach the Yuanying space entrance? Among the remaining young jungles, a strong man at the 9th level of the Jiden stage asked. His name was Wu Yu. The only strong man at the 9th level of the Jiden stage other than the 2 strong men at the 9th level of the Jiden stage from the Great Han country. The 30 or so young talents that remained were all following this Jiden stage 9th layer powerhouse, and they were the only force that could counteract the Great Han Kingdom. Obviously, by now, the crowd no longer trusted these people from the Great Han country, and they knew that the only way to counteract these powerful people from the Great Han country was to unite. The squad that Kang Tian was in was also mixed in with them. Don't worry guys, this place isn't far from the Yuanying space entrance, and there won't be any more huge swarms of demonic beasts like just now, so we're very safe now. Yanchon coldly scanned the crowd and said indifferently. The crowd was delighted at his words. They believed in what Yanchon had said. After all, if there really was still a huge swarm of demonic beasts like that, they wouldn't be able to make it through with Yanchon alone. The killing intent in Kang Tian's eyes, however, grew even more intense. Once he arrived at the entrance to the Yuanying space, he would give these people an unforgettable lesson. In that case, why don't you leave? Wu Yu frowned. Go. Yanchon sniffed and sneered. At this moment, a Great Han country powerhouse walked out from behind Yanchon. It was Yanchon's right-hand man, Renhuo, who looked at the crowd grimly and smiled coldly. If you want to follow us to the Yuanying stage space, hand over all the demonic beast inner pills that you have just hunted, or else get the hell out of here yourselves. The crowd of strong men from the Great Hong country coldly swept their eyes at this man, their faces full of disdain. What? Hearing this, Wu Yu and the rest of the crowd of young jungles were filled with anger. Those demonic beast inner pills were what they had desperately hunted. To have them handed over to Yanchon in this manner, this could not help but bully people too much.